Happy, healthy, healing day. Welcome to the Oneness, Wellness Lifestyle Show. I am your host, Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. Yep, and I get to say that. And I'll tell you why later, but we've got an incredible guest today. I just want to jump right in because we're going to be talking about some things and having some fun while we do it. So as always, however, go get that blue pen and white paper and get ready to take copious notes because you are about to get that natural healing information you've been seeking. Our special guest today is Dr. Julian Bay. We have known Dr. Bay for probably about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years now. And I am always exhilarated, excited to be in his presence, in his company. You're going to learn some things about Dr. Bay. When we talk about longevity, when we talk about wellness, healing as a lifestyle, they should have Dr. Bay's picture in a dictionary next to that. Okay, this is how you live it for real, y'all. So let me introduce you to my friend, Dr. Julian Bay. Welcome to the show, Dr. Bay.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
So happy to have you on today. We're going to just jump into some juicy stuff, okay, y'all? You know I get talking fast, right? But it's okay. Let me calm down. We're going to talk about the 9 things one must do to have optimum health. Now, you can say that better than me.
Well, you want to have it and you want to maintain it. And so, or you want to create it and maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are definitely 9 things that one must do in order to have optimum health. And do you want me to start right in by telling you what the first one is?
Well, because I think in between we're going to have some dialogue and some laughs because I already know by the time we get to number 3, I'm like, okay. So, sure. And so number 1 is, what's the first thing we need to do to create it or maintain it?
Yes. Well, the first thing is the most important thing because it is to discipline oneself.
Okay.
To do the other 8. Mm-hmm. And herein lies the major challenge. Because we are in a habitual pattern and we have formed habits that are major challenges to us. Mm-hmm. So the best way to discipline, as a matter of fact, one of the books I've written is called the Master Force System, and it is a system designed to aid you in disciplining your mind to have and do the other 8.
The other 8, okay.
So, because the best way to do this is through a spiritual bond with other people. In other words, you'll exercise longer and harder if you're exercising with another person. You'll go on a fast and stay on it longer and all if you're fasting with other people. True. So this spiritual bond of utilizing energies and spirits of others to aid you in accomplishing your mission is the major aspect of disciplining yourself to be able to do the other 8 things that one must do.
Okay, so that's number 1. And this spiritual bond that you're talking about, this is the finding like minds.
Like minds, yes. People that want to achieve a level of internal and external righteousness. And by righteousness, I mean good for all concerned in their lives.
Okay.
And when you find people like this, then they're not envious of you. And they're not someone that wants to think that you cannot succeed to do what you want to do. In other words, you don't want somebody saying, "Oh, there she goes again," and all those big ideas or whatever. Or he goes again. So because you want somebody that is in tune with you on a spiritual level, and we may mention the 4 invisible forces, and the number one is spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, very good. Number 2,
oddly enough, that is invisible is your thoughts. Nobody can see your thoughts. They may see the subsequent action that is caused by your thoughts, even your body language or your facial expressions and all of this, but they don't see what you're actually thinking. Number 3 is extremely important. And we'll talk about that a little later on because it's inhalation. It's the oxygen that you take in. You cannot see it. It's invisible.
Yes.
But it operates and causes the electrical, which is the fourth one that you can't see, it is the manufacturer of it in your brain that triggers and operates every gland, organ, tissue, and cell in the body.
All right, so those are those invisible forces that are all really a part of the mind part.
Right.
Right.
Well, when you say mind, to me, it means something different
than most people
think.
Okay.
Because most people think the mind is the brain.
Right. No, and it's not the brain.
No, it's not
the brain. Okay.
You have several minds.
That's another show. We're going to have to do this on a regular basis to get all this in, because you mentioned the Master Force book, and we definitely want to bring people back to that at some point, but not on this show. Okay. So stay tuned. So we've gotten one of the first 9 things we should do, and that's the discipline of the mind and finding like-minded people or other spirits to do what we all called to do at that time. Exercise longer. People we can be happy with, really.
Yes.
It's a vibrational thing. What's the second thing we should do?
Well, the second thing is the one talked about least, and it's manipulation. And not just of the mind, it's manipulation of the body, because the body forms blockages with improper diet and improper exercise. And so if you have these blockages, you must manipulate your body to get those blockages to flow properly. Okay. And so in doing this, what you literally must do is to utilize certain systems, like the chiropractors do, to align your spines and other electrical flow, energy parts of your body. You got the aspect of you that is called needless acupuncture. I don't know whether you know about those. And there are several things that fall into that category. There is also that area of you that most people are commonly known as massage. There are 3 different types of massages for 3 different reasons that you do them. One is pain, and of course in the pain massage you're dealing with a deep tissue aspect of it. The other is relaxation, where you're literally taking the muscle and taking them away from the way they naturally grow and then bringing them back into the way they naturally grow to release the tension and anxiety that's built up through the mind that affects the muscle. And then you got petting, which is properly preparing your mate and understanding that a person must be properly prepared physically in order to indulge in the activity and not end up with haircuts and damages to the walls of the uterus and so forth and so on. Okay.
That's interesting. That's a whole nother show all by itself. To sexual health.
Yes.
Yeah, really. It's about sexual health. So we're talking about, when you say manipulation, that's kind of like, that's what we term as body work.
Okay.
So here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, we have a Sarah Gem massage bed.
Okay.
And it helps in that when you don't go to a therapist to actually get it done. But that's something that we offer here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles, because we understand the importance of that. And just for those of you who are listening and watching, if you're wanting more information, you can contact us at 1-800-609-8157. Our number here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles is 1-800-609-8157. And of course, please visit us on the website, onennesslifestyles.com. onennesslifestyles.com. So, Dr. Bay, what is number 3 of the 9 things?
Okay, number 3 is the one we're most commonly knowledgeable of in its activity, but not in its results. And that is called ingestion, anything that goes through the digestive system. And the ingestion is basically things you take and put in your mouth. And here is the major problem.
Okay.
Most people, especially these days, especially in America, is destroying themselves for several reasons. We talk about the challenges of our youth, and what they're doing and all that type of thing. And nothing is destroying us more than what we're ingesting. As a matter of fact, almost every health challenge anyone has comes from what they have ingested. And there are several aspects of this. First of all, there are foods that are not really foods. They've been taken out of their carbon compound. They've been manipulated with added hormones to it, and this is really affecting our youth. We see our youth, some of them don't know whether they're male or female, and that's because they've been, the food they're eating has all of these unnatural hormones in them. And while the mother was carrying them, she was consuming this type of thing. And this gets into the law of unity and understanding the transformation of energy. But if you understand that it is extremely important that you consume the right things in its right form. Yes. By that I mean this. Name me another species on Earth that cooks its food. And some of them live to be 300, 400, and 500 years old. And they don't even have a clinic. They don't have to go for a checkup, except those that, we've made pets. And now we got to have a veterinarian to kind of straighten them out, too. But in the natural, nothing or nobody should ever cook their food. First of all, they've altered the electrical forces in the food, destroyed the hormones, that structure of the food, alter the chemical compound, and now they want this so-called dead food to keep them alive. And it is true that if you understand the law of the transformation of energy, that only things live that have a system where they kill other things. In other words, there's nothing living that isn't living because of the death of something else. Okay. You're only living because of the death of something else. And most people don't understand that death is two categories. It's not only the food you eat, it's the air you breathe. You kill the oxygen and use it for life. And so it's that transformation of energy that literally causes one to be healthy and for the body to do what it's supposed to do. But if you transfer the energy in the pots, pans, and skillets, then it's not in you to do that. That's why you could have tomatoes, okra, corn, and laying on a counter. And they could lay there for a week or two, and you don't even know how long it was since they taken them out of the farm, and they may have been a month. But if you cook that food and set it on the counter, would you want to eat it after 48 hours? No. Because you turned it from alkali to acidic. And now you got this acid that's eating up the food that is also destroying aspects of you internally.
Wow. So let me talk about this part where you talked about this transformation of energy and the death of one thing to provide life to another. So we're not talking about, because I want to straighten it out in the minds of the audience, we're not talking about killing animals so that you can eat because they
man should never eat animals.
Thank you.
Well, animals that eat animals have three things that we have neither. Sharp teeth, short colon, and an acidic stomach. We have molars' teeth. We have a long upper and lower colon. Yes. And we have an alkali processing system in our stomach. Okay, there you have it. So I just wanted to clear that up so that people weren't thinking about, well, we kill the animals so they die so we can live. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about live whole foods that are not mutant foods. That's the term I actually got from you. And we want to make sure that it's alive when we eat it so it can keep us alive. All right. So the transformation takes place in our bodies and not in the pots, pans, and skillet.
Okay, great. Thank you. Where are we? Number 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 4 is inhalation. And, it's interesting that this is the most important thing you do is breathe. You can go weeks without eating. You can go days without drinking, but you can't go an hour without breathing.
That's right.
And yet, most of us have literally destroyed our system to a major degree in which breath and the oxygen thereof is being processed in. In other words, approximately 80% of the oxygen you take in goes to your brain. And what does it do when it gets there? It is the fuel for your nerves. In other words, it is what creates the energy field of electricity that goes through your nervous system to every gland, organ, and tissue in your body. And so they cannot properly function if you're not breathing properly. And so that's why people have strokes even now. Because it's no accident that people that are around smoke, whether it's from cooking or a factory or whatever it is around smoke, have more strokes than anyone else. Because they have the body wants to protect itself, and it shuts down the lower cavities of the lungs. You got people breathing from up here instead of from down here where they're supposed to breathe. And so once you understand that, it is extremely important that you have the right air to breathe. The average person have under the kitchen sink enough toxins to kill everybody in their neighborhood. Not just in their house, but in their whole neighborhood.
Under one kitchen sink.
Under one kitchen sink. And all you have to do is put the bleach and the ammonia together, and you know that you can destroy a whole bunch to start out with. And so we must realize that what we have done as a people is altered the spiritual alignment of the universe. In other words, what is spiritual? Spiritual is everything, not some things like we want to think, but everything in its natural form is spiritual. It could be a leaf of dandelion, and you may think of it as a weed or whatever you want to think of it. But in that leaf of dandelion, the body needs 72 trace minerals and 12 basic minerals, which is 84 minerals to function properly. Dandelion alone has 56 of them. And if you eat that leaf and don't cook it first, every vitamin, every mineral, every cell salt, every electrolyte knows exactly where it goes in the body and what it's going to do for the body when it gets there.
Yes, intelligence.
So it's spiritual. It's tied to the spirits of the universe. Everything is in its natural form. And what we've done is altered so many things from their natural form until it's unreal. There's just no way we could possibly address all of the things that we have done in the form of modernization of the world to destroy the people on it.
Well, it's the witness. I mean, our society bears witness that is exactly what has occurred. Exactly what has occurred. So in talking about inhalation, you're saying that most people are breathing up here and not down here. So breathing exercises are absolutely necessary.
Sure they are.
On a daily basis.
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that we have that I teach is that breathing system. You know, it's interesting. On the way here, I wasn't here in Kentucky and Indiana just before I got into Kentucky. There was a sign that said 6 million people die per day here in America. I mean, per year. From cigarette smoke. 6 million people.
6 million people.
Now, we get upset when one person kills another person. And yet we're constantly killing ourselves. 6 million people boils down to about 20,000 people per day kill themselves.
That's horrendous.
From just cigarette smoke, inhalation, breathing in, and you know there are over 100 different things that happen wrong in the body that comes as a result of smoking cigarettes. It not only makes your breath smell bad, but it
and your clothes and everything else.
It literally destroys so many aspects of every gland, organ, and tissue because it is not getting the proper oxygen needed to fuel the electricity to generate the energy fields for the glands, organs, and tissues in the body.
So suffocating it.
Yes.
When you inhale smoke.
And blocking it and all kinds of things. Heart attacks, strokes, you name it, it affects it.
Wow. Okay.
Adversely.
Number 6.
Well, You must remember number 6 is your specialty. Absorption.
Absorption.
And it's interesting that absorption is such an important part. Your skin is the largest organ you got, and it's always absorbing. It's always absorbing. So you got to be careful what environment you walk in. And you remember those toxins we talked about and smoke we talked about.
Yes.
It's getting on your skin too. And absorbing. That is being absorbed into the skin.
And the skin breathes.
Well, I was going to that.
Okay.
The skin is your number one system of breathing. Actually, every aspect of you is breathing in your through your skin. They say that you can, if you saw a movie years ago called Goldfinger, where they painted this woman in gold and it killed her, they say that you can do the same thing with people with honey, and block the pores of the skin. But the skin must breathe. And we're putting all these petroleums and other animal fats on our body that is blocking the skin from breathing.
Yes.
And when you block it from breathing, it not only affects the skin, but it affects every gland, organ, and tissue in the body. See, what most people don't realize, that things get into your system, your blood, faster through your skin than it does through your mouth. If you have a pain on your knee, we could put some natural stuff on your knee and stop the pain almost immediately, within seconds or minutes at the longest. If you took that same stuff through your mouth or something through your mouth to stop it, it got to go completely through all of your system to get there. And so you should never put anything on your skin that you wouldn't put in your mouth, because it's certainly going to get in your system faster.
That's it.
By putting it on your skin.
That's it. And you know, this is I need to have you with me all the time, because this is like the perfect segue for the Oneness, the skincare system that we make, Oneness by Shifa. And it grew out of an understanding that in order to have good health, we must stop putting all of this craziness, the petroleums, the mineral oil, and all of the synthetics. And I was in a store recently, and I noticed that they had a cream, and it actually had drug facts attached to it, just like a prescription would. And I'm reading this, and it's just amazing that you're putting drugs on your face on top of all of these other industrial chemicals, and not only your face, but all over your body. And you're suffocating yourself again, because you are strangling your body, because now it can't breathe through the pores, through its natural, in its natural way all the time. So
yeah, the challenge is big there, because when you see the word fragrance,
yeah,
you're possibly looking at over 100 different chemicals.
That's right, in that one word.
In that one word that is put together for the purpose of the aroma that you get that is affecting your brain adversely. Not just your body, but your brain also.
Yes.
And how it operates. So it's extremely important that you, through the absorption in your body, put only natural remedy.
Only natural. You heard it, Dr. Bay. Only natural.
You don't want anything that is not natural.
That's right. Toxin free. Only natural. And that was for your absorption. And so number 6 is, or was that 6? That was 6. We're on 7. I'm trying to keep notes, y'all.
Number 7 is detoxification. You must purify the system. And it's interesting, because it's a good question. If you notice my nose, there's toxins coming out of it. And that comes because I'm detoxifying myself right now. And anytime you start detoxifying yourself, when it's going to run out somewhere.
It's coming out. That's right.
and it's going to, and people think, well, no, let me stop this. No, you want to keep on that till it gets all those toxins out of your body.
Yes.
You need to clean the upper colon, the lower colon. You need to get rid of the parasites, the mucus, and the toxins from the body, inside and out. And so, if you understand that the process of doing this is so important, there are herbal formulas to do every one of these things with, inside and out. And if you understand that we must do this in order, because the air, anytime you got birds falling out of the sky, they're fish washing up on the shore is dead.
That's
We
right.
poison the air. We poison the water, and we poison the soil. And so you got all of these toxins in. Don't care how pure you live or exist.
That's right.
And you got to get out of it. And they come out on different people in different places. And mine just happens to come out through on my nose, and it always comes out on my nose.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
See?
mine always comes out through my nose.
Yeah, I've got a place mine always comes out too. We won't say where that is, but it's interesting, and it speaks to the point that every one of us is different.
Oh, yes.
And that our program has to be crafted in such a way that it speaks to what our health challenges are and what our goals are for optimum health. We've just got a few minutes left. How about number 8 and 9?
Number 8 is so important. It's meditation.
Yes.
I teach 5 different types of meditations, and they're for different purposes. One of the best ways to stay healthy is to meditate. Once I said oxygen is the most important thing you have. I teach them a system where I teach you how to reestablish your lungs by being able to meditate at a level that you bring oxygen in and hold it and let it relax, and the lungs expand and bring all the oxygen you can in again and hold it, and your lungs will start expanding and get back to its normal capacity. You know, when you see a person with a stomach out, you know that they have built up toxins in the body and need to get that cleaned out. The same thing with the lungs. When you see it shrunk, you know that it hasn't gotten the proper amount of oxygen in the body to feed the electrical system in the body, so it can generate the nerves to operate every gland, organ, tissue in the body. And the final one, of course, is sleep. If you've exercised properly, ate properly, and detoxified properly, sleep is automatic.
Yeah, wonderful. You have to relax, and that's when the healing takes place, naturally, when we are sleeping. We are at 1 minute to go, and I just want to say that it's wonderful to have you, Dr. Bay. CCOWI, the Creation and Conservation of Wealth Institute,
Yes.
is your contribution to humanity. And it has certainly been a wonder in my life and our life here on the team. And I want to thank you for that and for all the wonderful things that you have done in your illustrious life, that you continue and continue teaching and showing and living.
I say that I teach. I train and coach.
Train and coach.
There's a world of difference. Teaching is telling somebody something and hoping they remember it. Training and coaching is taking them through the system and making sure that they do it and do it properly.
Training and coaching. Right here at Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. Thank you, Dr. Bay, for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
We look forward to doing this some more because we can dive in really deep on each one of those we talked about. 1-800-609-8157, oneness lifestyles.com. Have a happy, healthy, healing day.